In an effort to resolve the affordable housing crisis, many states have restricted the rights of landlords, but Florida had a unique idea: banning rent control. I'm Tony, and this is Real Estate Investing and Landlord News. All right, so I have an interesting article for you today, and it's going over some proposals to help resolve the affordable housing crisis in the state of Florida. Obviously, Florida, they kind of go in an opposite direction of the rest of the country, and that's a good thing, okay? It's one of those places where you're going to see some proposals out there that are good for landlords, that are good for property rights, and that, don't think that the tenants are always right. They don't treat the world like we should just turn over into this ridiculous socialist system. So I saw this article. I thought it was quite interesting because one of the proposals was actually to ban rent control as a one of the solutions to the affordable housing crisis. And I was like, yeah, you know what? That makes sense. Okay, rent control actually causes prices to go up. So if we implement it anywhere, it will not actually help housing become more affordable. So the best thing to do is just to ban it. Okay, that's my opinion. But obviously these politicians in Florida, they think the same thing as me. So before I get into the article, go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button. Maybe leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Do you think banning rent control would help resolve the affordable housing crisis? I do. Okay, like imagine if they banned rent control in places where it's already been implemented, like in New York or in California, right? And suddenly landlords were able to charge the rents and do the repairs to their property because they have the money now. Okay, well, you know what? It's not the only problem. Obviously, that the other issue is that they're not allowing developers to build new properties at a high enough rate. But it would resolve a lot of the problems. So yeah, I think it will help. I really do. So anyway, let's get into this article and see what it says. This article is coming from mynbc15.com, and it says Florida legislator looks to take on state's affordable housing crisis, ban rent control. Let's get into it. On Thursday, lawmakers in Tallahassee announced a proposed bill that they hope will tackle the affordable housing crisis across the state. The $811 million housing bill does a number of things. Provides incentives for the private sector to be the primary delivery vehicle for affordable housing, aims to help kids who age out of foster care find affordable housing, prohibits local governments from imposing rent controls, requires counties and cities to approve multifamily and mixed housing units in commercial areas, provides $252 million to the State Housing Initiatives Program, expands the Florida Hometown Hero Program to include all community workforce. Yeah, and there's a few different of these initiatives that I really like, okay? So this part here where it says they want the private sector to be the primary delivery vehicle for affordable housing. That's the way it should be, okay? Because the way it works right now, uh, people, they think for some reason the government should be in charge of affordable housing, and we saw the public housing blocks that were just horrible. The government is a horrible landlord. So obviously private industry will do the absolute best to make sure that we have quality affordable housing. Now it will need to be subsidized. That is just a fact. Okay, it is not profitable to build housing that's affordable for people, right? But you give landlords an incentive to build by giving them tax breaks, by giving them preferential loan programs, etc. And that way we can get the cash flow we're looking for, even if we're renting to very much lower income tenants. Okay, so you have to still provide those incentives. Okay. It also says that it will impose local governments from or prohibit local governments from imposing rent controls. And that's an important thing. I've already gone over why rent controls they basically cause prices to go up because they create shortage. Okay, they create a shortage in housing, right? And the law of supply and demand says that when there's less of something, right, then people are willing to pay more for it, and that causes prices to go up. See, and They don't seem to understand that. They think, oh, well, if we implement rent control different, it'll be different for us. It'll be different than all the other places where it's failed. Yeah, well, no, no, you're not special. It's not going to be different, and it's going to have the exact same effect. What else did it say? Oh, yeah, requires counties and cities to approve multifamily and mixed house units in commercial areas. Now that's an interesting thing right there. Right now, because of a lot of zoning laws, you can't build multifamily in commercial areas. But they're saying, hey, we want to expand the amount of housing, make it easier for developers to start building more multifamily housing. So we have all of this area that is zoned for commercial, and it might not be being used for that right now. So we're going to allow those developers to purchase that land or purchase existing commercial property and either convert it into multifamily or build new commercial family units. State Senate President Kathleen Passidomo, a Republican, introduced a new bill on Thursday she hopes will have a trickle down effect on residents. Residents in Palm Beach County and along the Treasure Coast are being priced out of the area. Palm Beach County Community Services Director James Green says the need for an affordable place to live has never been greater. We continue to see a high volume of people who are coming in and requesting assistance, people who still can't afford to live here in Palm Beach County, said Green. Green says the county is still averaging around $3 to $4 million per month spent on rental assistance and other subsidies. He says the county is working to get more affordable housing developed, but not one group can solve this problem. Yeah, and you know what? Florida's a popular place, okay? There are a ton of people moving there right now from other states, such as where I live, where it's cold. And they're like, you know what? I see down there that the housing costs are low. There's no income tax, no state income tax. And you know what? The weather is much, much better from where I'm from, right? And so a lot of people are just they're packing up, they're moving down there, and they're enjoying the good life. And I can't blame them one bit. But the popularity of the state leads to there being less housing units available. And they can't keep up with the number of people who are moving in there. So that means housing prices have gone up. And a lot of people who, they moved down there and it was super cheap, maybe 10 years or plus ago, right? Now they are facing the fact that, hey, housing costs are going up. Now, I don't think it will ever be as expensive as like a place like California, but as compared to as what it was just, a decade ago, it is much, much more expensive. We're going to have to create more opportunities for individuals who are struggling to earn more so that they can afford to live here in Palm Beach County. And we have a number of programs and initiatives that can do that. But this program can't be solved with just programs, or this problem can't be solved with just programs. There needs to be some type of policies, various policies that work alongside these programs to help create an environment where individuals have an opportunity to succeed, said Green. Green says the county is working hard and doing everything that it can to create opportunities for more affordable housing and to provide emergency subsidies for those who are eligible. Once again, another politician who thinks that, hey, we need more government policies and programs, and that will help resolve the affordable housing crisis. No, 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 it won't, right? It's less, okay? It's less government policies, less government programs, and less bureaucracy. And guess what? The developers, the real estate investors, they will create enough rental units for everyone to live in. If there's money to be made and it's easy enough for us to make the money, we're going to go after it. That's what we do, okay? So really, the government needs to step aside. That's my personal opinion. And stop passing these ridiculous rules. And this is a good first step. Banning rent control will help keep housing affordable.